There she is, up close and personal, oil leaks and all. Oh, fucking me. The accelerator pump stuck, so she took a bit of manual pumping, but it fired up relatively easy. It only took me like 3 attempts of getting in and out through the passenger fucking door, because this one's trying to eat the guard. That's alright. So, engine swap day 1. We'll poke her over onto the grass, drop the water if there is any water in the radiator. I haven't run it for too long previously. Just put water in it to do that lap. It was full to the cap 2 weeks ago, and now there's no water in the top of the tank, so probably empty. Those that can hear, it pretty much constantly runs on 3 and always smokes. Though. I don't think I've ever seen a hilux this lineage with the factory fan shroud. All in one bit. Actually, I have. Someone cut it in half though. Now remember, kids, always put your bolts back where you found them. Alright, because I want this thing to go back in like it was never out, I'm going to mark everything and take photos of everything. So there's a little vacuum line going to the bottom of this intake manifold. It's probably redundant for old school shit that doesn't fucking work anymore, but that's how she was. So we will put it back to the way it was. One hilux air filter. Look at that. You can just see how dead this motor is. There's oil everywhere. Yeah. Unfortunate. I think that's actually come from the vacuum pump. And once again, put your bolts back where you fucking found them. So I don't know about you, but in my old age, I'm getting pretty forgetful. Not that I'm that old, but I don't know. Just little things, you know. You put it back where it went. Well, I can't fuck that. This little lever thing just fell off the carb. Obviously, it doesn't really affect its running ability. Not that it runs very well, but the other carb's brand new, so hopefully it's on it. By the look of the mark, it must have been bolted like there, but then where does that go? There's no arm there. The secondaries are vacuum controlled, they're connected. I don't know. cross that bridge when I need to. It's handy it's been a ute. It sort of has its own fucking workbench, which is awesome. Just put all the shit in there. Right. There was a random vacuum line dangling down here. Oh, it's from the charcoal canister. Wonder if that's feed in or feed out. Nope, that's supposed to go to the intake manifold somewhere. It's got a wasp nest in it too, so that's good. That's fine. We'll put that just there. Fun. Keep pulling shit out of it. Alright, now we're starting to get a little bit more serious. I'm going to pull the grill out because they are very difficult to find, especially in this good a condition. And the owner said if you're going to pull the grill out, leave it out because I want to clean it up. So I'll do just that. It's got 3 screws, 3 clips. One clip's broken and missing. Unfortunately, it's this side. Wherever they've broken or hit this headlight cover, it's busted that clip, which is mildly annoying, but I'm sure they still make them. I mean, it's Toyota. I don't think this bonnet's ever been off. Maybe not. That's all bad. Rattle gun. Really didn't want to do that. Alright. Let's see how much shit I left connected to pull this fucking engine out. Fuck. You know what I didn't undo? The exhaust. Yep. So let's put that back down. We'll undo it. What an idiot. Ah, well that's not good. It sort of looks like it wants to come. I bet it's this fucking exhaust. Yeah. It's the exhaust. See if we can prise it off. Ah, what's all that? Well, that was easy. Okay, now big girl. Nice and gentle like. Ah, he's got a torn engine mount too. Oh, that's Jimmy's problem. Actually, do I have another one? I might have another one in that hilux chassis. What's it there? Come on there. I said gentle. Why aren't you gentle? Oh, baby. Say less. Yeah, that clutch disc actually looks not too bad. Looks like it was replaced sometime in its life. Now Jimmy's cheap. He's not going to put another clutch in it. So he said, pick the best of the two and run them. So I got a choice of 2 starter motors, 2 alternators, and 2 clutches. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. This should work. I don't know. For a 2 litre or whatever the fuck this thing is, it's actually quite heavy. Good thing I left it on 500 kilos. Hey, sit me down there. Alright. Pop you off that tripod up there, I'll show you what we're dealing with in here. I want to give it a degrees while it's in bits. It's a mess. There she is, hanging in all its greasy, covered, half blown up glory. Yeah, I don't know. That clutch might have been changed. It's a bit hard to see on camera, but there's actually heaps of meat left on it. So we'll scissors paper rock to work, whichever one I'm using. But then just have a look at the mess in here. Around the steering box, the diff looks like a growth. So does the bell housing. So this is all gonna get pressure washed while it's apart, because I don't like working on greasy shit. Yeah, we'll rifle into that. Alright, that's the engine bay clean and done. Fucking come up pretty good actually. Not too bad. Bit of shine back on it. All the grease is off the chassis rail and most of it's off the diff. That's, I don't know, pretty on there. That'll take some like pressure and heat and all that fun stuff. But yeah, come up really good. So now I just had a look at the other motor. I got the other motor come out of 2-wheel drive, so I've got to change the exhaust manifold. And the other engine actually has a pair of good engine mounts on it, so we'll run them. We'll start swapping parts over. I don't think I need too many bits off of this. Maybe some of the vac lines over there. That's about it. But there, the big one is the exhaust manifolds are completely different, so that's going to be horrible. Alright, so there's the 2-wheel drive motor. A few things you've got to change. Exhaust manifold. And it looks like the sump, which is mildly annoying, but well, there's a few other things like that fuel line's all bent. I'll pinch that off of that one because it's all straight. And there's like random vac lines that have been bunged off and go nowhere. That's broken. So we'll make a good one out of the two. And should be a good thing. I do have to take back my Daihatsu cap, because this was going to go into the F10. Big reveal, yay. Thought it was the same bell housing pattern as a 12R1600, because that's what the F20s had in them. It is not. So I was looking at building a bell housing for it. That's so much more effort. I've got access to a 3K Corolla motor, which was the most common sort of swap for the old F10s back in the day. So I originally bought this off the owner of this truck, out of his 2-wheel drive, and I said, well, if you need it, use it. So because that's too good of a truck to have a shit motor in it. You need it, use it. I bought it for $100. You can have it for $100. I've already got another motor organised. So alright, she's fucking getting late now, but I want to get her in. I had a bit of issues doing the manifolds. Won't focus. That's the 2-wheel drive manifold there. It's junk. The 4-wheel drive manifold's on. Unfortunately, I broke a bunch of bolts in it, so I had to easy out them. But exhaust manifold's on. Carb's on. It's all back together. All the broken bolts are sorted out. So now all I'm going to do tonight is pretty much sit the motor in. Hopefully I can get the clutch spline count to line up, sit it in, and then tomorrow we'll finish bolting her up and take for a test run down the road. Shouldn't be too hard. I blew off probably 2 hours just, you know, extracting busted bolts out of that manifold, which is mildly annoying, and then sorting out all these back lines, because there's a bunch of stuff that's been deleted, like no more vac pump here, there was a vac canister, then there was an EGR solenoid that was vacuum activated. This vacuum solenoid's probably going to do nothing now, because that had to do with the gas research for the EGR. That's now all deleted and sealed up, because, I mean, fuck, I'm pretty sure it's probably done its pollutant in its life, so whatever. And the owner wants the coil changed out. He's got the good old Bosch GT40. So he wants that put in, nothing too major. I've got to do a bit of tricky wiring with that anyway because of the electronic DIS, the points delete, but that'll come tomorrow. So we'll catch you in the morning. I'll get this thing sitting in there. Okay, next day. We'll start putting this thing in. So last night, couldn't really see it in the dark there, but I was able to slide the motor in. Just jammed the, well not jammed, I screwed the 2 top Bellhausen bolts in. So she didn't come apart overnight. Engine mounts are sitting where they're going. So these are the mount plate off the 4-drive motor with the mounts off the 2-drive motor, because the 4-drive motor had a split mount. Nothing too major. I found out, so supposedly the 4-drive had a head replacement because it cracked the head. Having a bit of a look, I was trying to change the fan over from the 4-drive motor to the 2-drive. It's got a clutch fan, there it is there. So I was having a bit of a play with it last night, and when you install the pulley, the fan free spins pretty easily, so that's rooted. But Jimmy's got the original fan off the 2-drive, so I'm just going to box it up. He's got to put a new fan belt and new radiator hoses on it, so we'll box it up, put the belt on it, and he can sort that out when it gets it back to his place. So right now I'm going to slide underneath the truck, bolt the Bellhausen up, bolt the exhaust back up. I'll have to jiggle it with the engine crane a little bit. As you can see, the mount's not 100% lined up. There's still a bit of a gap with the Bellhausen there. It was like 6:30 when I went inside, so I just wanted bolts in there so it's not going to fall apart pretty much. But pretty much slid in relatively easy. I just jiggled the crank there while pushing back on it, and it just went bang, straight into her. So that's good. One thing I did notice pulling the other car apart, you can tell the backyard mechanics worked on it. They had this vacuum line coming from the manifold, which is supposed to go to the PCB valve. They had it hooked to that pipe on the intake, which is supposed to go to your brake booster. And then they had the brake booster hooked into the PCB valve. So no wonder the brakes were shit in this thing. No vacuum. So he parked it up probably for, other than the fact that it burnt lots of oil, was that it had poor braking, and that would have been, the booster wasn't doing anything. So it doesn't also help. I had a bit of a quick look. The rear wheel cylinders are seized, but that's Jimmy's problem. I made it work on the front brakes, so you can at least move around. Handbrake works too, so you got, you know, a little bit of fail safe. So we'll start a time lapse up on that. We'll start jamming this fucking engine in, eh? For a big engine bay, fuck, it's tight at times, I can tell you. Alright, what are we going to do first? Now, I'll fix this vacuum line. Sweet. Alright, that automatic sounds alright. Something going on with the oil pressure switch, the light didn't come on. I think it's got a bit of grease or something in it. We'll give that a bit of a clean up. But before I got all carried away, I wanted to make sure it actually cranked, which it does. That's good. Sounds exactly the same as the other motor. Hopefully it runs on more cylinders. Right, yeah, that's great. Ah, coil. That's right. This thing's got electronic ignition in it. Apparently the wiring's a little different. I'll have to have a boat people some diagrams. Maybe it doesn't use the ballast resistor, I don't know. He sent me a lot of pictures of shit. We'll have a look at that. Alright, have a look at the pictures. So this is an ACU spark module in this. According to the pictures, it's just the two wires out of the ACU spark module, points replacement, go straight to the coil. So these are the wires off his two-wheel drive coil. I'll fix them up, they look a bit rough. But for now, I'll put them on. We'll see if it gave room. I've already got fuel pressure, oil pressure, because the oil pressure light went out. Hopefully it worked before I pull the engine out. Maybe the sensors bug it, I don't know. So it still says to run the ballast resistor and everything, but it's not really going to be doing all that much. But whatever, that's okay. So that goes there. It's already got the terminal on it. Plug it in, and we'll see what she does. Hopefully, he's already melted one of these ACU spark modules by wiring it incorrectly. So hopefully I don't fucking do that. Otherwise I'll be putting points back in. But I really don't want to do that. Please don't catch fire. As wide as the internet says, so when's the internet ever been wrong, eh? Jam your bloody size 12 in here through the bent door. Helps if I plug the coil wire in, eh? Idiots. Oh, I surprise myself sometimes, I can tell you. I don't know if that's getting full throttle. I do have to play with the throttle linkage a little bit, so we'll give her a bit of manual whoop hours. Try and squirt a bit of gas in there. So I'll have to take a bit of slack out of the cable. Fan belt's a bit cooked, but shit, that's rad. What do we got? Oh, it's because it does have rocks in it. Cool. That's even better. Probably used to go down there, but that strap's broken, so yeah, we'll leave it like that. Now this top radiator hose, it's got a split in it right there, unfortunately, and the replacement is with the owner as well, so I should have enough fat in it to shorten it, and if I don't, I'm fucked. That's the long and short of it. I don't even know if I'll be able to test drive this thing if the rain gets any heavier. I don't know if I want to take it down the road with 2 brakes out of 4. And you got to pump the pedal up. It's just, you know, probably not the best idea, but I've done dumber shit, I can tell you. I have done some dumb shit in my life. I mean, I have been married. That's probably the dumbest fucking thing I've ever done. Oh, Gucci. They're good. Right, let's fill it. I don't even know if this one's got a thermostat in, I didn't look. By the looks of the blue RTV around that housing, it's a solid maybe. I know it's got a new water temp sensor in it. And that is about it. New plugs, leads, cap, rotor button. He had the two-wheel drive, he was bombing around, he had intermittent misfiring issues. Couldn't track it down. Mechanic had it for, I don't know, 2 months or something, and they put a new carb on it. They didn't put any leads in, but new points, cap, rotor button, plugs, compression test, whole 9 yards. Finally put leads on it, still wasn't working. I said, he goes, it's breaking down under load. I said, that sounds like, you know, some form of ignition issue. I said, it has to be something to do with the points. Turns out the bush in the distributor shaft was worn out, so the points were jumping. So you got that whole dizzy with the accu trigger set up in it of one of the Toyota forums. Some dude on one of the Toyota forums. Put it in it, job done, fixed. And then I think it was like a week later we pulled the motor out and put a 3 hours in it. And then a week after that, he turboed it. And then like 2 weeks after that, it had a Heltec and it was making 400 horsepower. But, you know what it's like, project creep. See if she still wants to run. Probably should have given it a couple of pumps on the pedal then. I need the idle pick up. Weed and breath, so. It did have a lot of back leaks, this engine. I noticed I had to change, obviously as I said, I had to change the exhaust manifold out. When I pulled that off, I noticed the intake manifold bolts and everything was a Siamese port. They're all loose. The gasket was fried. All the vac hoses were a mess. They were in the wrong spot. So that carb's probably been played with to make it run with all of its back leaks. Found it. It's the what do they call it? Charcoal canister. Back feeding charcoal canister. I'm guessing it's probably supposed to have one of them little diaphragms in it. It didn't before. It was disconnected though, so that's probably why. I was just pulling fuel vapor from the fuel tank the whole time, but yeah, it's 100% in. We'll do something. Perfect. Problem solved. Yeah, not too bad. Oh, the brakes bad? Oh, so much better. So much better. Sweet. Right, let's box her up and get it done. Alright, clutch was frozen, got her unstuck. On 60 on fucking flat spotted tyres, she's scared cheebles. And now he is a some bitch, I can tell you. Alright, got a bill for this episode. She's together and runs, as the owner wanted. Leave the grill out, we're going to play with it, clean it up, let's do it up. I'd like to thank Jimmy for letting me play with his truck. It's a pretty rad rig. He's going to be able to do it. Yeah, catch you next time. I'll probably maybe work on my own stuff, maybe not, I don't know. Anyway, we'll see you then.